Good morning. Glad you could join us. I don't always wear t-shirts when I do this, but this is one of my favorites, and it's probably my most expensive one, if you count the shipping charge. What do I mean by that? Well, I picked it up on the island of Rhodes, and Heidi and I flew to Rome, and then we got on the cruise ship, and you get the point. Yeah, if you put all that together, it is the most expensive piece of clothing I've ever had. But the reason I got it was, and it's embarrassing, do you ever realize there's things that are right there in front of you, you should know it, but you don't? I have a degree in history, which I got a kick out of, you don't know everything. But I never knew that Sparta was part of Greece. I don't know, like maybe it's because of Michigan State. I mean, I guess never thought of it as part of Greece. Anyway, once I realized it was part of Greece, it's like, I gotta have my Spartacus t-shirt. So anyway, things that you should know. So there's this story about Jesus in the Bible. And it says that, well, I'll just go ahead and read it. It's found in Matthew chapter 8. There's different accounts of Jesus walking on water. And you know, I get a kick out of it. That's just so synonymous. Anybody's like, oh, she thinks she walks on water. It always means they think they're deity. But Jesus really did it. There's the one account where Jesus is walking by the ship and the disciples are freaked out, and then he says to Peter, Peter says, if that's really you, have me come to you. Well, anyway, let me read this one. Then Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with his disciples. Suddenly, a fierce storm struck the lake, with waves breaking into the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. It doesn't say he was snoring, but he's got his head in the bottom of the boat. Maybe there's a little pillow. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, Lord, save us, we're going to drown. Jesus responded, why are you afraid? And they're kind of like, it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you need us to answer, we will. And then he says, you have so little faith. Then he got up and rebuked the wind and waves, and suddenly there was a great calm. The disciples were amazed. Who is this man? They asked. Even the wind and waves obey him. That had to be freaky. I mean, this isn't some sleight of hand thing. When you're making the water calm down, that's crazy. When the wind, this is divine. So I can remember a long time ago, 30 some years ago, I was doing a Bible study. I wasn't a pastor yet, but I think it was this passage of scripture, and I said, so when you face storms in life, what does Jesus do? Just sleep through them? Does he do nothing? Does he sink your boat? Does he calm the wind and the waves? Well, it actually wasn't a very good question, because I don't think it was all that insightful. But you know, really the answer, to me the real answer, I think is right in front of me, and it always has been. And there's just some things this week that just kind of crystallized it. So when I take a look back over my life and I look at when the wind and the waves were really going. Now, have I seen some miracles? I have. Have I seen some things happen that there's no logical explanation for that? But there's also been some really difficult seasons in my life. I was unemployed for a period of time. I went through a divorce, not something that I really wanted to go through. There's been other things, a number of losses in our family. None of those things did I want to go through. Did Jesus change my circumstances? Not that I could tell. But do you know what he did do? He didn't calm the wind and the waves out there. He calmed the wind and the waves in here. Right? It's like, instead of me being all worried and crazy about stuff, he just walked through it with me. And the wind and the waves within were calm. Simple, but so important. And it's like, how didn't I get that earlier? But sometimes it's just kind of looking back over your life, you get it better. I love the words from the song Amazing Grace. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far. And grace will lead me home. And grace will lead you home. Have a great day.